For this little clutch tutorial, you're going to need to create 2 pattern pieces. You need a bag piece and you need a flap piece. And the measurements for mine were, I did this 10 inches by 5 inches for the body. What I did was cut this piece out in a rectangular shape, and I did it 4 by 9.5 because we need don't want it to go all the way to the ends. It needs to have a seam allowance or it'll bunch up and make a mess. But anyway, I cut it to a rectangle shape, and then I folded it over and I drew the curve, and I just cut it out with it folded over. So that's how I did that. Okay, and the pieces that you need are, you need 2 interfacing for the body, 1 interfacing for the flap, and you will cut out 2 pieces for the outside of the body, 1 piece for the outside of the flap, 2 pieces for the lining, 1 piece for the lining of the flap, and you will need a small piece. It's up to you, okay, to whatever size you want to make it. And I cut a little strip of interfacing that's about 1/2 inch, and what I'm going to do with that is put the interfacing in it, fold it over, and make it into the loop to put the little hook wrist strap on that I did the video before this. So if you want to see that tutorial, you can go to my channel and find the wrist strap tutorial on how to do that. But anyway, the first thing I'm going to do is iron on all the interfacing, and for the interfacing on the bag, I'm going to iron it onto the outside. But first we're going to do this little loop. Oh, you also need some small pieces of hook and loop, or velcro, whatever you call it. Just a little square piece to put on the bag. I was going to do a snap, but yeah, this is just quicker. If you want to add a snap to it, sew a little snap on it, or use the fancy metallic snaps, you can do that. But anyway, so to do this loop, I just folded 1 piece over and then double folded the other to close that up. This I'm going to stitch along the sides, or maybe down the middle 2 rows, and then I'm going to put it aside. So we don't need that until we're ready to put the bag together. Okay, I've got the interfacing ironed onto the outside pieces. The first thing we're going to do is take a piece of the hook and loop, and we're going to place it, we're going to find the center, and I'm just scoring it with my finger, that way I know exactly where it is and I don't have to do any marking. I'm going to put it about 1.5 inches up, and I'm going to take it over to the machine and just sew all the way around the edges of the hook and loop, and I'll be right back. So we've got the velcro piece sewn on here. Now we just need to connect the pieces of the bag flap. So what I'm going to do is sew all the way around this part and leave this part open. Okay, I've got the bag flap sewn. You can see it's still wrong side out. Now I just want to cut notches around the curved areas so that it turns out nice and smooth. And I'm not cutting the stitch line. I don't know if you haven't seen this done before, then you need to be very careful. Just cut as close to the stitch line as you can without cutting a stitch. And you only need to do it on the curviest of areas. It just makes everything come out a lot nicer. So now, see those little stitch notches that I cut there? Only needed a few. You don't have to do the whole thing. Now we want to turn it right side out. and just get it as smooth as we can. I'm going to press it. Now what I'm going to do is go over to the machine and I'm going to top stitch this just to keep it closed. I'm going to top stitch right along the edge. Okay, I just wanted you to see how I top stitch that. It's really close, about 1/8 of an inch, because you don't want it to show through when you turn the bag. So now what I'm going to do is, with right sides facing together, I want to sew all 3 sides of the outside of the bag and the lining of the bag. I'm going to sew their pieces together, but I want to add my little loop too, so it's really just up to you where you put it. I think probably in the corner, not too close to the top, but maybe right in here. I'm going to let a little bit of it hang off because I want it to really stay in there. I don't want it to come loose. So I'm going to stay stitch this onto here. Then I'm going to put the 2 pieces together and sew all around all 3 sides, leaving the top open. Okay, I've got the lining sewn together and the outside of the bag sewn together. Well, at the right end. And now I just want to clip these bottom corners. Again, not clipping the seam, just clipping the corner so that they turn nice and neat, be nice and pointy. Okay, so I'm going to turn the outside of the bag right side out, and now I want to decide where I want that little piece of velcro to go on this. What I'm going to do is just a little chalk, and I'm going to push it up just a little bit to allow for that seam allowance, and I'm feeling right there where that velcro is, and I'm going to make a mark. See, I've made a mark where it is, and I'm going to go in with the machine and just put this on here and sew it right to it. And I will do that, and I will be back. Okay, I've sewn the piece of velcro, hook and loop, whatever you call it, on the outside of the bag. Now what I want to do is, with the right sides facing together, I'm going to add this flap. And I just want to make sure I center it, and I'm going to take it over to the machine and stay stitch it to the bag. Okay, you see we've got the bag, the flap on the bag. Now we just need to take the lining and put the bag with the right sides facing together, put the outside of the bag in the lining of the bag, and you want to make sure that your flap is down. Now what I'm going to do is go over to the machine. Hopefully everything fits together nicely. I haven't made this yet. And I'm going to sew all the way around, and I'm going to leave a small opening, a couple of inches right here in this part, the part without the flap. Okay, I've got the bag sewn together, and I've left my little opening right here so that I can turn it. This is just kind of a process, and I try not to leave a big opening because it's more to have to sew. So we just slowly start working the bag right side out. Alrighty. Now, we can tuck this lining into the inside. Just want to make sure everything's pushed out the way it should be, and then we're going to press this. Burn up the Velcro. Don't do that, y'all. Alright, I'm going to close this opening, but I'm also going to go all the way around the bag. All the way back to the flap and sew that down so that the lining doesn't pull out. But I'll do that, and then we will be done with our little bag. Okay. Got everything sewn together. Now we just want to give the bag a good pressing so that it looks neat. That connects nicely, and we have the little wrist strap that, yeah, I think I burned up the Velcro, guys. So that's what we have. And a nice little hippie bag. Kind of cute. And this is, like I said, I burned up the Velcro with the iron. Now it won't stick. Yeah. So don't burn up your Velcro. That's it. I hope y'all enjoyed this little tutorial. Like I said at the beginning, you have measurements and everything you need to create the pattern. It's real simple. Total time probably take about an hour. A little more if you're making this little doohickey to go on it too. So that's it. Alright, y'all. Peace. Bye-bye.